10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. NAVI's turn to pick.
Earth Spirit.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. You may now select your heroes.
Blink Dagger of some sorts. But he's also playing against a Viper. That hero kind of counters Axe pretty hard.
Yeah, if you don't get him inside that that cool, then you're not going to be spinning an awful lot, which kind of makes it tricky to you know, be an Axe to do your job as your hero. So that could be a bit awkward. This Viper pick does seem to have a lot of value this game as well, and just kind of countering the anti-mage's magic resistance, and also countering this Axe with his counter helixes. So a lot of factors working out pretty well for this Viper pickup. Once again, proving to be a very, very strong first phase hero. For one, I hope we see less of Viper in the future.
Yeah, it's getting pretty tiring at this point, right? Seeing this Viper who can go off lane or mid lane, but still, it's a very potent, strong hero that can enable your lineup and amplify your team's damage output with that poison attack, reducing the enemy's magic resist as well. Neurotoxin, like it's crazy. You just pick this Viper and he has so much value. Even though the enemy could have just picked other heroes. Like this Anti-Mage and Axe are going to be very sad if they sit in the Neurotoxin, and they can't do anything about it. There it is, just plopping that Neurotoxin, wants to get the rune.
Yep, great. Can't do anything about that. Alrighty, well, game gets started at last. The bounty runes get picked up, 2 for 2, but it is all even starting things off here. The pressure is on Navi to perform very well in this laning phase and try and carry that advantage through to the mid game, because Viking, once they start picking up on this match, then it's going to start to get real hard, real fast for the side of Navi. A very mistakeless game is required here from Navi. But, you know, we know they can deliver that. If they're on the same similar form as they were in for example, ESL 1 Germany, when they managed to make the grand finals, you know, I can easily see them winning this match if that team shows up today. But unfortunately, that team has not been so consistent throughout this tournament thus far. As I'm just going to start things out at bottom, throwing a couple of rocks across, and immediately just killing off that first creep wave very, very quickly to try and put some pressure onto V-Tune.
Yeah, it's just going to be a farm fest here until Hermes just pulls a wave in front of the tier 1 tower bottom. And that's when the lane's going to get so much more difficult for Always on the Fly and B-Tune here. Very classic stuff going on. Iceberg already level 2 middle. Taking a look at the other lanes too right now. Boom, he's going to be pretty happy always having 10 stick charges available. He actually opted for the Empowered, not going for the Shockwave just to secure last hits against this Bat Rider in case he can't actually walk up.
Yeah, fair amount of confidence there. Kind of just saying that, hey, I'm not going to need to sit back and Shockwave. I can be in this creep wave. I'm not scared off this sticky napalm. And, well, so far so good for Boom. You know, he's doing all right. Kind of just trading here in this middle lane, so we'll keep an eye on how this one develops. Meanwhile, at top, this Void's being bullied pretty badly. Solari also not doing super well in HP as they go in for the Salve cancel here, and we'll be able to get it off onto Shad. Shad is not having a good time up here as Roger in general getting very, very aggressive onto this faceless Void lane down with the Fire Spirits. He's already used that Salve, don't forget. There's not another one available, so it's all about the tangos now. But Roger maybe getting a little bit too deep, but at the same time, they can't really finish him off here because they just don't have the catch.
Yeah, it's actually a very annoying lane for Faceless Void. Fighting into the axe here. Celery though.
Celery.
He is gonna chase down Roger.
Yeah, Celery getting a bit big for his boots here. In general, will chase him back and take a good amount of his HP in the process. So both of them kind of getting pretty low. But of course, Ogre Magi, he never really minds getting harassed too much. This guy has so much base HP regen that he's kind of fine taking a couple of hits here and there.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for the Ignite. Normally, level 1, we see Ogres with the Ignite, and it's super value when it goes on to both of the enemy heroes. Does plenty of damage too. Going for that stun and Bloodlust instead.
I mean, I can see the Bloodlust making sense with a Void, with a time lock, but at the same time, I don't think this Void really wants to be hitting heroes in this lane.
Yeah, if you get spun on by the axe, it's going to be very, very painful.
Celery taking a lot of damage here. Roger with the sweep forwards here with the Icarus dive. Do they have enough to take him down? Yes, they do. Down he goes. Celery will be the first blood. Meanwhile, Shad gets a time walk away from General, but has lost his supports. This lane really starting to get tough already. Straight off the bat here in the top lane for Viking.
Yeah, and this lane does not get any easier for them whatsoever. Phoenix also gained that first blood. This axe was already free farming. Now the Phoenix is going to be very farmed as well with that kill. Top lane, absolutely disaster for them. They do have a healing salve from the Ogre you can give to the Void, but the Void's having such a hard time just walking up into the creep wave. Getting earned up too now.
Earn on the axe. Okay.
Yep.
Earn plus battle hunger. That is not something you want to be playing into. Good luck time walking that off, Shad.
Maybe Ogre just wants to try and get some pulls going, but Roger's doing such a great job at just living in this jungle, making sure Ogre can't do that.
Yep, just consistently throwing down the pressure. The Void's actually queued up a Midas, so this guy kind of knows that I'm not getting much of a lane here. I'm just going to kind of buy him a Midas and recover from that way.
Bat Rider got the 4-minute rune. It's a regen on Iceberg. Just pretty much a farm fest mid lane so far. I mean, Magnus realizing the wave is in front of the Bat Rider's tower is like, okay, never mind. Time to go jungle. Got that level 3 in power. He's pretty happy. Just going to stay here for a while. Iceberg is going to be pretty much free farming in the mid lane, going for that boost of travels. If anybody makes any aggression, bottom actually Toby.
Pretty low here, and they will be able to finish the job with the Purifying Flames from Always Want to Fly. Never underestimate the Oracle level 3. It always results in a kill as far as I've seen. And down goes another Viper dead.
Yep, and teammates didn't even need to blink into him. Viper only has...
Celery getting run down here. Icarus dive forwards from Roger, just staying on top of the Ogre Magi, though he might be able to grab the bounce route. Oh, value. Got it. So when you type the worth in all chat. Yeah.
That was the goal all along. I mean, that bounty did provide more gold for his team, but it did give a little bit of experience the way of Axe and the Phoenix for him dying. And Shad having to TP back home. Oh, this is so bad for him. Level 4 Void, TPing back to base. Now has to make the walk of shame. Celery gonna TP back top, gonna try and soak up whatever XP he can in this lane.
You know,
feels bad.
Can we give any credit to the Void for not having died in this top lane? Like, is that a consolation prize?
It's kind of hard. to kill a carry, right? If he just doesn't farm.
True.
He has 15 last hits.
What?
Nomad.
Iceberg's TPing
It's-
in. They're looking at Toby. They're looking at Aramis. Aramis goes in with a kickback and the roll away, but unfortunately leaves his Viper. And I think Toby could be in some trouble as Iceberg's starting to run him down, gets on top of him with the large stacks of sticky napalm. And there is nothing Toby can do but get cooked up into a nice Viper stew by Iceberg. Kill down in the bottom lane. A nice rotation in from the Batrider.
Oof, this is... The Viking are actually just losing 3 lanes straight up. I mean, Mag mid is pretty much a wash at this point. He's just jungling anyway. And he's done a pretty good job at not getting wrecked by the Batrider. But these 2 silents are just so atrocious. I'm just trying to think like how... Oh, Viking top shot. Oh,
Ooh, no, he
He's dead.
just came back to the lane. He just made the long walk, and now he's going to have to make it all over again. Well, he does have the TP actually when he respawns at the very least,
Yeah.
but goodness gracious, this is...
does not want to
harsh.
go top. He does not want to go top at all. That's a level 5 axe. Void only 4.5. He literally has nothing to do against his axe in this lane anymore. So he's actually going to TP mid. And this is the best
Okay.
decision he could make. This is actually the best lane that he can be in, yeah. Level 5, he might just skill up the time dilation. So Iceberg doesn't really have any kill threat on him. And then he's just going to try to jungle on the both sides. It's a bit crowded in Vikings jungle because Boom is in there too, but he has no other option but to wait for creep waves to come into him and just farm up. Iceberg, understanding that, is just going to try to control this wave the best that he can. So Shad can only get a few last hits, if ever. 17 last hits. Viper also 18 last hits.
Oh my goodness. This is a completely dominating laning phase from NAVI. We'll see how Viking come back from this. I mean, on the bright side, Boom is just farming away in the jungle. He's going for this Blink Dagger. He wants to try and hit a decent timing and give his team at least some timing to work towards and try and make a play with to drag themselves back into this game, because right now things are looking a little bit dire. Yeah, man,
Yeah, and
Shad, I
Omen
mean,
just-
he's come to mid just to watch the creeps. It's very sad.
It is. He wants to give the space to Boom first. Like Boom doesn't want to just sacrifice himself and give Void all the jungle creeps
Oh
right now.
no, the sad Shad's about to get a whole lot sadder as he does manage to
That
get off the
it
time
is.
walk at the very last second here, but Roger still dragging him down, although the TPs are coming across. Boom comes over with the skewer. Might be enough to bring down Roger here. Can Roger get himself away? No, he cannot. The kill actually goes to Viking instead, and Shad survives. Very, very nice
good.
from Viking.
Yeah. At level 5, he skilled that time dilation and made it so Iceberg could not use that sticky napalm to actually kill Shad off. And that gave enough time for his team to react and kill Roger. And that's the lasso used too. It's a very long cooldown spell this early into the game, and you kind of want to be getting kills if you're using lasso on Iceberg at this point. He is going to have
Should-
boots of travels. It's going to be very
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, he will have that at very quick timing. But do you think Navi should have made that play onto the Void? Like, should they not have just been happy with the fact that they were dominating this mid lane, or do you think it was necessary to make the play onto the
Oh,
Void?
it was a good play. It was a good attempt, right? Because they don't know if the Void actually has time dilation skilled up at that point. But Shad already predicting that this bat will try to kill him, and getting that level 5 is what allowed him to live there.
Well, that is going to be a very small win for Viking, at least, but things still looking pretty grim. They're 5-1, a 1k gold advantage for Navi, and it's just Boom who's having a good time on the side of Viking. Featuring, though, he's not having the best of games. I mean, better than the Void, that's for sure, but certainly not having the
Oh, yeah.
freest of times at bot.
It's all right. He did have to go for that Ring of Tarask, which makes it much slower to his Battle Fury. But he feels like this is an item that he needs in order to lane up against a Viper. So whatever helps him settle in to this game, that's exactly what he should do, and that's
Top
why he bought it.
lane, General, trying to get on top of Solari. They're using the Boots of Travel to get in on top of the Ogre, and they will be able to cut him down. Great little kill up in the top lane from Navi, utilizing the Boots of Travel.
The 2 heroes you did not want to have a really good early game on Navi are having the best game they could possibly have right now. The Batrider and the Axe are completely dominating this map. Top and mid is pretty much their zone. On the Viking side though, Boom, because he's been jungling since like minute 6 or something, he's still the highest net worth. That being said, he's gonna need to make some plays happen for his team. Oh,
He is indeed.
Chrono
The
onto
Chrono
Axe.
comes down up in the top lane. It's not doing a lot, but maybe with Aramis TPing it across along with Boom here as well. Goes in with the 2-man RP. That's very nice. They're going to be able to cut down General at the very least, and now moving across to the Batrider as well. Both heroes going down. Boom making it happen with this early timing the Blink Dagger, proving that it was a good idea to send him to the jungle early on. Greeded up a little bit, and now that payoff is coming in thick and fast for the side of Viking as they get 2 massive, massive kills up in the top lane.
That's so good, right? They could have just gave up the Axe, but because the Batrider felt he was so strong, he TP'd right back up there, wanted to help the Axe. They did not expect that 10-minute Blink Dagger. Normally, Magnus, who go first item Blink over Echo Saber, don't really achieve that much in the game because it's quite predictable. But boom, perfect counter initiation there, giving his team a little bit more XP and gold, removing the Axe and Bat off the map. But they're just gonna go back mid. They know RP's on cooldown, they know Chrono's on cooldown. Viking, if they don't bring the Viper over, I'm not entirely sure how strong they really are here to be able to defend this.
Yeah, Navi, they don't want to slow this game down. They want to keep the pressure up. They want to keep the animation nice and free, but a great little skewer back onto
Nice
Whiteflag here into the stun from Celery. Is it going to be enough, though, with the heals coming in from Roger? And that's actually a lot of return damage coming down onto Celery here. In comes a lasso. Yoink, come with me, child. We're going on a ride. Meanwhile, Zaramis in the same amount of trouble here as it turns back around. Now they drop the Supernova. Iceberg, he's trying to dodge out the Sun Ray. Will not be able to do so. Sorry, the Shockwave as they turn around. The ultimate comes off from Roger here as the Supernova comes crashing down. He's actually sticking around. He's looking for the kill onto Boom. Here, Boom gonna turn around with the skewer, gets the kill. A little bit of an over-exaggeration from Roger there, but he still gets the kill. Worth it. He still gets the kill onto the Magnus. Viking lose 3, Navi lose 2. A big old messy scrap in the middle lane. I mean, I don't know who kind of gets the victory here, Steven.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either, but I think Viking were the ones who made the play. They got killed off because of the Phoenix Sunray onto the Batrider. That healed Iceberg just enough to be able to get that lasso off onto the Ogre and try to turn that fight around. Viking did bring 4 heroes there. They managed to trade on the side of Navi. I think it's pretty worth it for Navi overall.
I think so too. I think they should be content with this, but at the same time, you know, gotta keep the aggression going, which is hard when you keep kind of getting countered upon so well just by Boom on this Magnus, and now he's got RP again, so it's going to be pretty scary, along with the Chronosphere available on Shad. A lot is now working out for the side of Viking.
The more I look at this anti-mage, actually, V-Tune here, he's been farming this whole time, right, while that fight was happening. This Ring of Taras makes a lot more sense. Like, it allows you to go for that Claymore and the Broadsword before the Ring of Health. So you get this damage items, and you get this Ring of Taras much earlier without having to go to a secret shop. It's doing very well for him. He's quite farmed, and his team is making stacks for him too. He's able to farm this up with that damage you're getting from the Broadsword and the Claymore. It's nice. And now Navi gonna make a smoke play here.
They most certainly are. I did just want to ask quickly, why would he go for Ring of Trask over the Ring of Health?
Because you can buy it much
cheaper?
earlier. Yeah, it's cheaper. You can buy it earlier. It's good in the lane against the Viper, so you have that sustain available for you. And you won't have to go to that secret shop to be able to buy the Ring of Health also, which is kind of a big deal.
General in the trees down at bottom. Celery knows there's someone around because his smoke got popped, so Viking, they just want to take that tower and get themselves out of there. In fact, they're not even going to stick around for the last hit onto the tower. They're going to let it be denied because they're just that scared of what Navi have in the tank.
Just going to deny up this bottom tower now. Don't want to have to deal with this pressure of constantly defending this, and Void is going to be very happy staying on the top side. Void, that Midas build, he's really hasn't taken a lot of farm away from Boom, right? Boom has been taking all of this, like whatever he wants, he's just taking it. He doesn't care. He realizes like he's actually the carry at the moment, because if he doesn't keep on scaling, he's not going to be able to create any space for the Void anyway. So he's taking, Shad is just like sucking it up. He's got this Midas. He knows he'll catch up once his team is strong first. So Shad is still taking all the crappy farm on the map that's, you know, kind of risky as well. And just giving Boom whatever he wants for the time being. Once Boom gets that Echo Saber, he's going to be very strong in terms of his damage output, at least.
He certainly is, yeah, he certainly is, and that's going to create more space. And also, if they want Void to shift into like maximum Giga Farm mode, then they can do that. They've got Bloodlust to throw on him, they've got Empower to throw on him. He's got Midas, like this guy. It's if they choose to enable his farm, which I'm sure they will very shortly, then Viking have a bullet train farmer on their team. Meanwhile, the Anti-Mage, you know, comparatively, probably going to be quite similar with his Battle Fury. You know, Anti-Mage just a naturally extremely fast farming hero, so it's going to be interesting to watch these two kind of go toe-to-toe on each other. It's definitely going to come down to the rest of the team and the plays they make across the map and just who has more space to play. At the moment, that is the Anti-Mage.
And he's already got that Battle Fury too. Like he didn't have the best lane, but this build of his and really allowed him to be able to stay on top in this game. And
they're trying to bait Iceberg at mid. They really are.
Iceberg or Shad, they're both baiting each other. They're both baiting each other.
Don't lasso me. Oh, don't chrono me. Oh, no. Please, sir. Please, lasso me. No, I insist. Please chrono me. Both of them trying to bait out the other. No one really falling for it right now. Viking being very, very patient, as are NAVI. No one wants to make the move onto each other, so... You know, they both feel like, well, our carries are farming, so as long as there's 4 of us mid, and there's 4 of you mid, then we're happy.
Yeah, and I think Shad is about to start taking like all the good farm now, especially since Boom has that Echo Saber complete. His next item is a BKB. That's going to be for like a very long time. He won't have that, so they're just going to start grouping up as 4 now on the side of Viking. This is their timing at the moment. They got the Atos, they got the Echo.
Could be in trouble. V-Tune, he's walking into 4 heroes
V-Tune
here.
is a
if
big
they spot
one.
him, he's going to be in some real trouble, but thankfully, Boom doesn't notice this Anti-Mage walking just below him here, and that's gonna mean he's nice and safe. And Viking, they're just gonna start farming here. So these 4 heroes, which are smoked up, waiting for someone to come in this direction, they won't find anyone right now. Roger is still nearby, but they just don't have the vision down to really make these kinds of plays.
And they're gonna go back to the top side. They know Viking have completely taken over this bottom area of the map. You really don't want to fight into this Magnus at the moment. He is hit his peak for like the next couple of minutes right here, and NAVI, I'm quite surprised they were not able to take this mid tower much earlier in the game with the kind of start that Iceberg and General had. If they were able to take this tier 1, their game right now would look so much easier. But it's 18 minutes in almost, and the tower's still alive, and it's looking like it's going to be impossible to kill until this Anti-Mage is able to join them in a fight.
Yeah, I think it comes down to these ultimates, you know, like because the Magnus had a pretty good time in the laning phase, he was able to get a decent time on the Blink Dagger, and then just pushing in the mid tower is incredibly difficult. I think that's what we've seen happening, especially with that Supernova at mid earlier on. It's all very messy. The game's still very, very close. NAVI with the slight advantage still, but Viking with those ultimates, with the comeback potential, it's pretty high. We haven't really seen so much from Iceberg since the laning phase. Like, since the early mid, they've kind of been pretty content on NAVI just to hold back on the aggression. Why is that?
Well, it's Anti-Mage, right? If they fight into Viking, it's going to be 4 versus 5. And they can't win 4 versus 5, especially when the Void is very happy to join the team fight to drop a Chronosphere and help his team win. So Anti-Mage like just wants to farm, so they're very content with just splitting up this map right now and just letting Anti-Mage get to his items, which is going to be the Manta. And even after the Manta, he might want to get a Basher first before they actually decide to smoke up and do something on the map. NAVI right now, they're just playing that pick-off game. They have no intentions of 5v5ing whatsoever into Viking heroes.
Yeah, just really respecting the Viking heroes, realizing how strong they are. And I kind of feel like they've done enough in the laning phase that they don't need to be too, you know, making any high-risk plays throughout the mid game. They started themselves off with that lead, and they feel like they can maintain that lead with the speed this Anti-Mage, Axe, and Batrider are going to farm compared to the cores on the side of Viking.
So because that early game advantage NAVI built with the Batrider and the Axe is making it so much harder for Viking to actually get space on the map. Iceberg, he's gonna find
Aramis. They grab him out here? Beautiful little Molotov thrown across from Iceberg to interrupt the roll, and that will mean Aramis dies. However, Viking bringing in the heroes. They've got the Atos down onto Iceberg, but it's only 2 joining him right now. Third one is behind as a Magnus is here, but again, you know, they just don't want to commit. They really don't on the side of Viking.
And with that reaction from Viking on the top, NAVI might think about just shoving this million out and touching this tier 1 tower a little bit, see if they can get Vikings to react, follow them back to that mid lane, and that's exactly what's happening. Boom and Celery are just walking towards middle, understanding that there's always going to be pressure put onto this tier 1. Like, that's what Navi want to do. They just want to get these pickoffs on the side lanes and try to get Viking to just run around the map.
So Manta, Basher on Void, sorry, on Anti-Mage is kind of the timing you're initially thinking about here.
It's what Anti-Mage needs to be able to pretty much solo pressure the lane. And if anybody shows up, he's going to instantly kick them out, pretty much. That being said, the AM is going to want way more than that to be able to just 5v5.
Toby, he is not aware of this rotation in. Yeah, I mean, there is a rotation coming in from Aramis. They're looking to try and fight this one as Icebox's going to put the BKB. Aramis jumps on the backlines, trying to blow up the Phoenix. That's not going to happen as Toby loses life, but now the RP being tempted. It's not going to go down. The egg is down. Boom's got attack speed. He's going to turn around, drop the RP, and the roll across from Aramis is going to allow him to blow up the Supernova. V-Tune, he has got the blink, but he wants to go aggressive onto Boom. Trying to finish the job here. Can't get off the ultimate. They will finish him off with the dunk, though, as General brings him down. Aramis is going to fall as well. Now Navi, they're looking for more. Pushing behind the tier 2 tower. Shad still waiting. He does not have anything to really give to this fight, though, and he's out of mana, and he's running out of health as well as Iceberg gets on top of him once again. Shad will fall. Viking, they try to bring themselves into this game, but unfortunately, they just end up taking a big loss here in the top lane. Fighting on the corpse there, Viper does not end well for them, unfortunately.
That was so good from Navi. As soon as they caught out that Viper, like, Viking needed to just abandon him. There was no way they were going to be able to take that fight into that Black King Bar Bat Rider. They are nowhere near strong enough for this kind of engagement. So the Viper died instantly at the start of the fight, and then the egg was so nice from Roger, which forced the Magnus to attack it, and then B2 just blinking in, trying to create some chaos. Maybe they'll bring their attention to the anti-mage. They can't kill the egg, and that was just enough. It was pretty much a 4 versus 5. Navi taking full advantage of the numbers there, taking the tier 2 tower top now. That's going to be the outpost, and Vikings, they just put themselves in a horrendous position in this game. They should have just been playing bottom and middle. They should have just tried to get more out of this map, and Toby had no business really being in that top lane there.
Very, very ambitious fight from Viking. I mean, they brought down the Supernova, but unfortunately, it wasn't nearly enough to secure themselves that engagement. Magnus took too much damage in the process, and yeah, I mean, everyone just kind of throwing their bodies onto that fight there ended up working out pretty poorly for them.
Ooh. I'm sorry, Iceberg has Blink Dagger now, too. After that fight and the map that they were able to farm out, they got a dagger, BKB on this bat. This bat's looking absolutely invincible at the moment. This is insane. And let's not forget, there's an Oracle on the side of Navi. So if you put all your attention into trying to stop this Axe or the Bat Rider, then you're no longer putting any attention onto the Oracle. He's just going to save them.
Yeah. He's chilling in the backlines, having a good time. Anti-Mage now finishing off that Basher as Iceberg smoking up with his 2 comrades to try and find themselves a pick-off. Maybe someone shows themselves in the mid lane, but they know where the side of Viking are. They're all in the enemy side of the map. Flying that triangle. Oh, V-Tune just kind of clips Celery here. Hey guys, this is our triangle. Get out of here. And he's
he wants to go
looking to get aggressive. Yeah, Celery baits out the fire bluff, but unfortunately he's going to get eaten up very quickly. Now Sue onto the Faceless Void. They're trying to take him down. They're going to Adrenaline's mana. No Chronosphere for you. Does just about get the time walk away whilst using the one, but unfortunately the Earthspirit won't be so lucky. He's going to lose his life, and it looks like Shad's going to be heading the same way as well. Another hero dead. Toby turning up to the engagement to just try and make something happen, but nothing will be happening for the side of Viking other than losing 4 heroes and giving away a Roshan in the process as well as V-Tune wasting no time to get in and start dealing with the big boy.
Yep, the fight next to the Roshan. See this time and time again. Vikings just got caught off guard. They were trying to help Celery there. They should have just pretty much abandoned him. Faces Void. Getting picked off too. We saw Boom. He was ready for like a 3-man RP, and then he realizes, wait, if I try to help this Void, we don't have any damage. The rest of our team is already dead, so he just tried to cut his losses, get out. He does have a BKB on the Magnus. Oh, they're gonna get a freebie
Oracle
here.
My god. Okay, Boom does have damage. That is very much just confirmed by Always Wanna Fly. This guy slaps.
The freebie. But they
for
lose
the
4 bounties though.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it? The Oracle kill for the 4 bounties. They're gonna smoke up instantly now. Oh man, they're desperate. They are actually very, very desperate on the side of Viking. They need something to go their way.
Well, they have their ultimates. General definitely going to be the target here as they see him. They don't jump him, though. They see Iceberg instead. They do have that RP possibly available if they want to throw it down onto that BKB hero, but they're just going to try and wait it out. As the roll does connect onto Iceberg, stun comes out onto General, but in comes the anti-mage in the backlines, draining the mana of Boom, stopping the possibility of an RP from coming down, but they're trying to bring down the anti-mage. Meanwhile, Toby's going to Viper Strike himself. Down comes the Supernova. That's going to finish off Boom. They'll move across, kill off Toby as well. Another failed attempt from the side of Viking as they try to get themselves away. Shad in some trouble. In comes that lasso. Down onto the Faceless Void. Can they do anything to save him here? Looks like he's going to be okay for the time being, but they are not stopping. In comes V-Tune, taking away that mana, taking away that health, and bringing down the Faceless Void once more. Viking, I don't know what's happening this game, but this team just can't seem to catch a break.
Oh, they saw the Void mid pushing the lane out, and as soon as they jumped Iceberg and he popped the BKB, they were like, guys, fight them bottom. This Void cannot join this team fight. And as soon as they got the mag, the Viper, they're like, okay, this Void is still pushing mid, let's go. And then 2 TPs from the Batrider and the Axe. They get all 3 of the cores. And he didn't want to drop a Chrono on the anti-mage who has the Aegis as well. There was no chance he was gonna get anything out of this Chrono, so might as well just revive, try to smoke again and do something, or wait out this Aegis. Viking are looking absolutely lost right now. I don't even know what they can do to try and do, like, fight back into this Navi team. Navi are playing so beautifully at the moment. They're playing the map well. They're not really giving away any random kills. Like, the last bad play that they made was maybe with the Axe and the bad top, but that was like a good play from Vikings, right? They had the 10-minute blink dagger on Boom, but other than that, like, they haven't really done anything at all in this game.
Just breathe and believe, Viking. They're going to try and go into Iceberg here. Are they going to hesitate to drop this RP? No, they are not. Bring it down onto its head and bring down the Batrider. Seems like a while, but they do get a high-value kill.
That's good. I can't help but feel like that's what they need to do all game. You know, just get 1 RP on 1 hero. Just try to buy some kind of time, like earlier on in the game. Maybe a Chrono 1 hero too, and just keep playing off that. And just chip away at Navi's map advantage. But right now, 40 seconds. Viking are going to be able to push this top out quite far and control this triangle. But as soon as Batrider's back alive, I think they're going to go attack Viking.
The 15k gold advantage is a big, big lead to break into for Viking. You mentioned, you know, that they do have this very fast farming Void, but unfortunately he is so far behind V-Tune. V-Tune is just a monster. He's got himself the Abyssal Blade. He's heading in towards the Butterfly now as well. The guy is just completely unchecked this game. Viking just holding on, hoping for the big ultimates to make the big difference this game.
Yep, V-Tune, knock knock, bottom tower. Viking, are you there? Still got that Aegis. He's not really afraid of like some kind of a surprise ARP, like Chrono or something.
Yeah, and always want to fly just about in the neighborhood if it's really necessary, but it won't be. There's no chance they jump onto this anti-mage here. He is free as a bird to do whatever he wants this game.
Oh, I just realized this Phoenix has a Shivas. Oh wow. Yeah. Like, it's not just the anti-mages farmed. Everyone on Navi are just loaded. Yeah. Roger with Shivas. Batrider has an Aeon disc now, so he's not worried about that the RP or the Chrono that much.
Good stuff. If this blade comes down onto Toby, he gets his mana taken away pretty damn quickly. Meanwhile, Iceberg just flexing on the front lines, dropping that BKB, finds himself the lasso onto the Earth Spirit, dragging him back into the engagement as well, so they'll finish off Toby here. Aramis the next target as he gets whittled down by these anti-mages. The Yules comes down. Aramis, no chance getting out of this one. No mana left as he runs himself away. Shad comes in, drops down the Chronosphere, catches out the Batrider, moves across, tries to deal with the Phoenix, but can't do so, gets lost, can't decide what to do. Called up by the Axe, and now he's going to get dropped by V-Tune. In comes that RP. It's on to 3. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Looking to cross over towards Roger as Boom tries valiantly to fight against the Yods, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough as the dunk comes down onto the Magnus. He's taken out of the equation. The rest of Viking, they're buying back, but the side of NAVI, they're just going to leave. Their work here is done. They force out the Magnus buyback. They get a bunch of kills. They get themselves away, and it costs them absolutely nada.
Oh man, the anti-mage still had the Aegis too. like nearing the end of that fight, so maybe it wasn't the greatest idea for Viking to go in, but yeah, Void, the Batrider getting instantly false promised and Fate's Edict onto the Void just made him unable to dish out any damage. It was like, what, 3 versus 5 pretty much, and he really thought that that was the time to do something. Viper buying back, gonna hurt him too. Magnus also buying back, that's gonna be the end of his item progression in this game.
Pretty much. He did a lot in that fight. Unfortunately, it was just once the Faceless was already dead, and it was such an awkward chronosphere as well. You know, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run across to hit the supernova. Oh God, I can't do this in time," and gets disarmed by the Oracle in the process. And from that point onwards, you know, he just couldn't do anything. His chronosphere was completely wasted, and then he got called by the axe at the very end of it anyway. Very sad. Abyssal Blade comes down onto the Viper, but they're going to try and make the counterplay onto the Anti-Mage there as the Skewer comes in. Boom going to pop the BKB to try and fight up into him, but the Lasso comes down onto the Faceless Void. He's going to be the new target, or is he? As they actually back themselves away here on NAVI. Vici now jumping onto Shad. Shad gets a time walk back as they'll turn their attention towards the Mag instead. Mag getting very damn low as he is going to die. The Mana Void committed. There is a Magnetize coming down onto a bunch of heroes as Shad trying to find Always Want to Fly, but Always Want to Fly still surviving for the time being. Will die on that high ground, and actually the Phoenix goes down as well. 2 heroes down the side of NAVI. The Magnus down the side of Vikings are going to try and take this one. Aramis rolling forwards, looking for a target as Shad's doing the same thing. He's got his Chronosphere available in 13 seconds if they can drag this one out a lot. They're looking across. General, they see him. They want this Batrider, but he is going cross-country right now, and that is not a route they can follow on, and it does look like this is going to be the end for Viking. They couldn't find their target, so they are just going to have to go back, but still not bad. I mean, Boom dying again is definitely very sad for him, but 2 heroes dead on the side of Navi is probably about as best as they could have hoped for there for Viking.
Oh, most definitely. I think Navi just made a very overconfident play in front of Vikings tower and just got punished a little bit there, because now even though the Magnus is dead, that was his extra death timer, so he's going to be happy that Navi are not going to be pushing into Viking at the moment while he's dead, because they could have just pretty much ended the game if that was like a clean fight for Navi.
Goodness gracious, Vision's got a double damage in the bottom now as well. So yeah, if they take a fight in the next 2 minutes, then the same mistakes certainly won't be happening from Navi. So I'll be able to bring down those heroes much faster.
They might want Roshan first, I think. They realize like they can die, right? There's Chrono, there's RP still. You know, you don't want to be too cocky about this. If there are heroes who are just split pushing on their own, then those are looking... Okay, Toby.
Here we go. Jumping on top of Toby, jumping on top of Aramis. Aramis going to throw down the Yules to try and save Toby, but it's not going to be enough. The Viper will fall. Brought down again as V-Tune chops him up good and proper.
Yeah. This might be a time to go high ground. That's 90 seconds of Viper's dead. They know he bought out. So it's going to be 4 versus 5 for a minute and a half, and they have a DD. Now it's go time.
Yeah, those lanes coming in right now. V-Tune, not afraid. There's that DD, and they will see that on Viking, and they will cry salty, salty tears.
Oracle has a Link Dagger too, so it doesn't matter where V-Tune might get dragged to. They do at least manage to use the Anti-Mage, remove that DD.
Yeah, get rid of the DD, nice little skewer back, but Always Want to Fly, catches him out with a false promise, beautifully done. The Chronosphere gonna get dropped onto the Oracle, but in comes a call from General, they're trying to keep him alive, won't be able to do so. Always Want to Fly will still go down, but down goes the Void anyway. They've got so much damage, the Lasso comes down onto the Magnus, he's taken out as well. The Void coming back into this one with the Supernova comes crashing down. Solarin's gonna be the next one to drop, and they moved in for more. Viking, they want to try and make some kind of retribution, the final stand, but as a call comes out from General, he will be left behind by the side of Navi, but Aramis going to try and look for more as he rolls forwards onto Roger. Yules comes down, Shad going to follow up as well, but Iceberg's with them. Atos is Lens gets going to pop here as they jump forwards, they take down Aramis. V-Tune trying to find into Shad. Shad is not winning this one. V-Tune, he's just too strong. Another falls, and that will be the end. GG is called. Viking, they just could not seem to get their feet wet in game number 1 here. NAVI dominant from the start. They don't drop the ball. They don't make those mistakes we were perhaps thinking it was possible for them to make, but instead they keep consistent. Really, really nice game from Navi as they take game number 1 from Viking. You know what?